So you're moving to Brighton, Colorado, but you don't know what you don't know. So in today's video, we're going to tell you all the important information you need to know before you move to Brighton, Colorado. What's up everyone, and welcome to the Living in Brighton YouTube channel, your #1 source for all things Brighton and Brighton, Colorado real estate. My name is Scott.
And I'm Mitch.
And we're your favorite red-headed realtors. Now let's dive into this video. So Brighton, Colorado is framed by two major highway systems. Well, pretty major. On the west side, you have US Highway 85. Now that is I call it an expressway because there are stoplights here and there that run from I-76 south of Brighton to Greeley, Colorado. On the east side of town, we have Interstate 76, and you probably have heard of Interstate 76. It is an interstate highway that comes right up against the edge of Brighton, Colorado. Now, off of I-76, you have some major new home construction. You have major new infrastructure that's currently being built. On that side, you have Prairie Center, which is pretty much where your major, I would say your box stores are located. You have Lowe's, Home Depot, Super Target, new shopping area. There's also new housing in that area. Off of that, as you come into town, you have Bromley Lane and Bridge Street. Now these two roads are your east-west roads that run through town, and from these roads you have your core city infrastructure, basically the major roads that run east-west through Brighton, Colorado. From these roads you have access to pretty much all of the amenities and shopping and services that you would need within Brighton, Colorado.
All right, now before we get too far into the video, do us a huge favor real quick. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton and it helps grow the channel so more and more people like you that are interested in moving to Brighton, Colorado can see the videos that we make for you guys. And hey, when that time does come to buy or sell a home right here in Brighton, Colorado, we'd love nothing more than the opportunity to help you out. Feel free, give us a call or text at the number that you see on the screen, and we'll be happy to help you out in any way that we can. Now let's continue on, talking all about Brighton and giving you all the information you need to know to make sure your move here is as successful as it can be. Now let's talk a little bit more about this city itself, and this is just going to be a brief overview of just some more general information because just a few weeks ago we did post a video that covered all of this, so if you haven't watched that, now's a great opportunity to go do so. But if you do stay on this one, happy to have you. So the city of Brighton itself, as we just established, is incredibly easy to navigate. The city planning setup, it's a grid. You've got your highways on the edges, you've got your main streets to run through, which makes it super easy to get around, very hard to get lost in. Now, the city itself has an unemployment rate of around 4%, and I know economy is an important part in deciding where to live. So unemployment's around 4%. The job market itself is expected to grow another 50% in the next 10 years. Now, there's a ton of development happening in Brighton, both residential homes and new businesses, new commercial buildings, whole bunch of stuff. The city is expected to grow a ton, and in fact, by this time in 2025, so really, depending on when you're watching this, a year from now, 6 months from now, today, we're expected to hit 50,000 residents, which just a decade ago, there were only 25,000 residents. So Brighton is growing like crazy and showing no signs of slowing down. So that's the economy. Now let's talk about another part of that economy. Let's dive into the housing market a little bit. So the housing market here in Brighton, Colorado is incredibly robust despite having the high interest rates that we have. There is a ton of new development and new build options for sale, and there's a ton for sale on the resale market to choose from as well. Now the median cost for a single family residence in Brighton, as of our most recent data set, is $540,000. The average is $587,000. Now, those numbers are substantially below some other averages for the Denver metro area, making Brighton an incredibly popular choice for first-time home buyers and people looking to downsize. It's a fantastic market to get into for your first home because not only are prices lower, what you get for the money is a lot nicer than an equivalently priced house in another city in the Denver metro area.
Now, I moved to Brighton about a decade ago, and at the time, my family and I, we were looking for a place where we could get an affordable home on acreage. And the Brighton, Colorado area offered us that opportunity to buy a house with acreage for a reasonable price. Now, it is a different time being 10 years later, but Brighton is still less expensive than the rest of the Denver metro area. Now, I will say Brighton has changed a lot in the 10 years that we've lived here. The services that are available have improved substantially in that time, as well as just the core infrastructure of the city. They're constantly paving new roads, expanding the city, building new homes, new services, new restaurants. The town is changing quite a bit. Now, Brighton, I will say, is not the mecca of nightlife. So if you're looking to spend time out with your friends, there are small places here locally to do that. But if you really want and love that type of life, Brighton may not be that place. However, you're only 30 minutes from Denver, which offers any type of nightlife that you would enjoy. Any type of restaurant dining, arts, theater, you name it, Denver has it, and you're just 30 minutes away. Now, for me, this is why I like Brighton. We're close to Denver. We still live out. We have acreage outside of town, and it just offers us a nice little town to drive into, to get groceries, to get gas, to have the car worked on, whatever it is you would normally do. And then if there's something special we want to do, we can plan that and drive to Denver, and we don't have to live in the hustle and bustle of the big city.
Now, my reasons for liking Brighton, living in Brighton, and staying in Brighton instead of moving out of the city are a lot different because I'm in a much different stage in my life just due to the age difference. Now, the reason we bought a home in Brighton and stayed in Brighton instead of moving to another city in the state is there's actually a couple reasons. The biggest one, though, is we wanted to feel and make sure that the money we were spending on a house was actually getting us something that we'd be proud of, to say, hey, we've worked really hard, we were able to buy this. And that's what Brighton offers a lot of younger and potentially first-time home buyers. The money that you spend on a house in Brighton does get you a much nicer house, I would argue, in my opinion, anyway, than in a neighboring city at the same price point. You get a lot more for the money, there's a lot more to choose from, and quite a bit of new development going on. Now, Brighton, of course, is home, so that's where all of our friends are, and it keeps us really close to family. Now, we do enjoy going out and spending time going downtown, going to ball games, doing a whole bunch of stuff in the evenings and on weekends. And Brighton gives us the opportunity to do that without having to pay the premium that typically comes with the real estate if we were to live much closer to that. Now, Brighton's a city where everybody knows everybody, and you will know your neighbor. It's a very friendly and very welcoming city.